Let's say if you are practicing okay. So welcome all the Cyber Sangha members, all the members of Ligmicha, family and friends. So I'm very, very happy today to continue our 1-year soul retrieval online courses. So just before I start, I wanted to say a few words. Those who are first time coming on the online teaching here. So this is a whole year program for 12 months. And in fact, we missed last February, so that this will go on until next January 2016. So what it is the true source of healing. This is based on my upcoming book, Through Hay House, supposed to come out sometime in June, The True Source of Healing. Here, what we're doing is it's free monthly live webcasts like this one today. Multiple languages. Probably, I'm not exactly sure. Today we might have 10, 11 languages of translations, live translations. And we will also have multiple language discussion forums, recorded webcasts, both video. Those you will miss this one, then it will be recorded and uploaded, so you will exactly able to see this one again later. And we will also do some higher quality short clips from these teachings later, and that will be also available on YouTube. And also we will have MP3 audio recording only, so those you wanted to download and walk around with listening to these teachings. And then the last thing, some of these materials that you will see today during these teachings, this will be also available for download. So these all will be at ligmicharlearning.com, on ligmicharlearning.com, and so all you can, if you miss something, you're welcome to come back on these on our site and download from there. So just first of all, I think this personally for me, ability to offer these courses, it's a great joy. I feel like very meaningful, putting all these efforts together with a lot of help. As later you will see acknowledgement, so many people are engaged, working very hard to make these things available. So I think we all understand the value of doing it, and value of benefiting all of you and many other people. So we're very, very happy to do this. Just to say a few words, those who are first time coming here or not very familiar with my teachings. So what we are doing here is this whole idea is the soul retrieval. And so I have last webcast, I talked quite a bit about it. So I would recommend to listen to recorded version of the teaching, last one. But just to say a few words, the concept of soul is the balance of 5 elemental essences within ourselves. So the earth, water, fire, air, space, in its forms, in its energy, in its more psychological dimension, its pure vitality, sense of vitality, energy. So when they all are balanced within ourselves, we say it's like a healthy soul. When for whatever reason one of these energies get damaged or stolen, so the concept of stolen by spirits, concept of lost, concept of damage, concept of decline, the energy just because of many things in life, losing somebody, a loss of job, relationship, shocking experiences in life, whatever happens, something can deep sense, something can be damaged, and damage means one of these quality can be damaged. So when these qualities are damaged and one loses many things which is related to these elemental qualities, so I have, as I mentioned earlier before, so just for example, just simple example will be a fire. So if you feel that you used to have a lot of fire, feeling a lot of energy, enthusiasm, feeling motivated, inspired, wanted to engage in life with everything, having able to do so many things, engaging life in many, many things, laughter, joy, humor, many qualities. And maybe then someday, one day something happens in your life, and then you lose. Suddenly you see you're not more laughing so much, you're not more playing so much, you're not more creative so much, you're kind of disconnected, isolated, and you feel these symptoms, these qualities are lacking. So basically, in those situations, in our tradition, we can look as a lost soul or damaged soul. And when somebody stays in that state for too long time, then not only you lose those quality more inner psychological level, but then you begin to lose more energetic level, this quality, and then gradually you begin to lose this on a physical level. Then you begin to, people begin to get sick, physically getting sick. So these sense of loss is there. So the idea of healing is exactly the opposite, so that you can retrieve these elemental quality back in your life by very ancient, very important, powerful rituals to perform. Doing that, you can communicating with the spirits and working with the spirits and trying to bring this energy back. If you understand that, if you believe in it, if you trust that. If not, at least energetically also, when there are like Tsalung exercises, 5 elemental exercises, which basically by physically doing those movements, by breathing those exercises, by imagining certain elemental quality, by reciting certain mantras, what you're able to do, you're able to reconnect with certain of those qualities back in your life. So then you are able to bring back those qualities. So when you are able to bring those qualities back with many different forms of doing it, then idea is you are able to retrieve your soul, you are able to heal your soul, you are able to fix your soul. So these are the concept. It's there. So element, when we talk about element, of course there is the outer element, and there is an inner element, there is a secret element. So for example, outer element is the earth, water, fire, air, space, that we all know. We are, as a human being, we are completely dependent on these elements. If we don't have one of these elements, we will not able to survive. We will not able to drink water. We will not able to survive. We will not able to breathe for some time. We will not able to survive. So basically, we know we are totally dependent on this gross element. But here in these teaching, they are not talking only just the breathing, but there are different air quality that you breathe. Not in a sense of pollution or not, but more like a sense of different energy of air that you can breathe, different qualities in the earth that you can relate to, different quality of the fire that you can relate to, not only fire in the purpose of cooking, but more like internal development, internal growth. So these are like 5 outer elements. Then the 5 inner element is the flesh in our body. It's considered as earth, and the heat in our body, or the digestion system in the heat, is the fire, and then our blood is the water, and our breathing air, our breath is the air, and our consciousness is the space element. So you have earth, water, fire, air, space. These are internal element, known as the internal element. So the secret element will be, there are many understanding of these 5 elements, its relation to our consciousness, our mind. For example, 5 elements relation to 5 emotions, or 5 elements relation to 5 wisdom. So even though also like a 5 elements relation to what the 5 Buddha families, which is something as a practitioner, what we're trying to achieve in the end is to realize these 5 Buddha qualities, or 5 Buddha family qualities. So these are like more like innermost or secret elements. So these, throughout this year, we will able to go able to go more in depth on this discussion on these issues. But today, particular focus will be the 5 the outer elements. So as I said, earth, water, fire, air, space. So before I go into it a little bit in details, I just want to make few points, important points. Think about, first of all, just trying to realize, I don't know, we are so many people here on this webcast. If you look at if your life or your surrounding life, what kind of neighborhood you live, how access you have to the nature. You know, like a little video that I showed earlier. This is also personally for me one of the reasons that I am. It's not that you don't have a nature. You have nature everywhere in the world, but also moving to California was clearly there's so much beauty of the nature, and sometimes it's worth changing entire your life, going to a one place location where there are access to the element and the nature is much more there. So that's actually more or less what I did, and I recommend to all of you look a little bit in your life to see how closely access you have to the nature, and how often how much you realize how little you have, how much you have, how much possibility that you have, or how much this possibility that you have access to the nature, how much you utilize, or how little you utilize that. So that, I think, is a very, very important part of the discussion during this webcast, because I realize, more I reflect on, is that sometimes we have so little connection to the nature. People who, recently I went to New York City. Not just talking about New York City, New York City is bad or something like that, but any major city like that where everything is concrete. So very hard to see a grass or tree or flower when you're living concrete like that. And I know like that some people who live in New York, they don't want to get out of New York. They're so used to their convenience of walking down the street and getting a cup of coffee or food, whatever. I understand that part, but clearly lack of connection to the nature on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, we need that. It's not a luxury, we need that. And so sometimes I do believe that we are all interested in the healing, and we're trying to searching on a website, different forms of healing, different practices, different traditions, and so on. But what is we have, like nature, that we don't consider so much important to it. Many people don't. I know that they're reading books, watching a video, or looking at the screen, but just going out in the nature, they don't do so much. But I really believe that if you sit with the nature, if you relax with the nature, if you hang out in the nature, if you rest, be silent in the nature, through that connection, resting in the nature might heal you much more than many methods that you're using. Because probably many methods that you're using, especially those you feel like, oh, you have been doing so many things but nothing is working, then I highly recommend, for time being, just go to the closest access to the nature, spend some time alone or with loved one, or just whatever ways you can do. Being and sitting with the nature will help you to connect, because it's not, we might, for example, some of you might be a practitioner who, like a Dharma freak, who think about, oh, I'm practicing Dharma, Dharma is the most important thing or something. Of course, even to practice Dharma, those who practice Dharma conjunction with the nature, those who love nature, be in the nature, their connection to the nature will help you. The practices that you're doing enhances much more. It will bring more clarity, more stability, more openness, more vitality. It will bring all those qualities which you're lacking by sitting in your own closed window rooms. So I will strongly recommend it. I'm just going to come back later more on it. I'm just mentioning that. So it's so important. Personally, for it's been so important, I do try to, go out as much as possible to connect with the nature. And so then one of the commitment about these teachings here will be to realize that how little connection you have, and some of you might have a lot of connection, I understand that, but those you do not have, maybe you might not have for so long time, but you never realize that. So I think most important point that I'm trying to make, not having relation to the nature is one thing. Not realizing, not having relation to the nature is another thing. If you don't realize it, you're never going to change it. But if you realize it, this might be the beginning of a change that might happen in your life. So recognize that lack of connection, and recognize the need of connection, and recognize the need of connection is not only purpose of the soul healing, but also whatever you are trying to do. You're trying to feel more peaceful, more quiet, you're happier, or you cultivate, develop your practice. In every sense, the connection to the nature will help. So realize that. So, for example, when I'm talking about the nature, it's just one thing. So I want you to look at each element your relation to space, for example, space element. Okay, first of all, you can some way you can easily look how much spacious you feel, or how little spacious you feel when you are afraid, how little spacious you feel when you're jealous, how little spacious you feel when somebody rejects you, or how little spacious you feel when somebody does not accept you. Or so just think about all these emotional reactions are lack of spaciousness, or how little connection you feel with somebody you live with, or your wife, husband, your children, your friends, or situations. You can see each of these qualities, how much space is lacking there, how much earth is lacking there, in a sense, stability. For example, internally, you can think about how much stability, that quality you're lacking, but externally, how much connection to the earth, how much you go out in the earth, sit on earth, touch on earth, walk on earth, feel the earth, connect with that earth energy, gravity, connectedness, groundedness, stability, indestructible quality, these qualities of the earth, how much you have. So I want you to look each element, give a little time on space, your relation to the space, your relation to the water, your relation to the air, your relation to the fire, your relation to the, how you say, yeah, so I think I mentioned all of them. So each, rather than saying all the element, pay attention to each element on a very personal level, that how much connection you have, because some people might have one connection to the one element might be strong enough, but other element might be very weak. But your own relation to each element, how that is going, just I would like all of you to reflect. Okay, so I think now we can talk a little bit about this chart. There's one chart you can see the 5 elements and their associated quality, wisdom and pure light. So earth, basic qualities with earth will be groundedness, connectedness. Wisdom will be wisdom of equanimity. Nyamnyi ishe. The light will be a yellow light or a yellow color. So some of these things which you don't understand, don't worry about it. Just you have the chart there. If you're trying to, if it's making some sense, just that's good. If it's not making much sense, don't worry about it. Since it's not making sense, then why you worry about it, right? So, but main focus here during this webcast is to understand the 5 outer elements and your lack of connection to them, need to connect with them, planning how to connect with them. That I think I would like you to emphasize and focus more to everybody. I'm saying that you're just trying to really trying to make sense of commitment. Yes, I am going to pay attention to it, and I'm going to see. I see the need of it. Now I will go next week. I'm going to hike somewhere. Next week I'm going to go somewhere, do something. So I would like to engage more in that way, and not just kind of entertainment. How you say? What do you call it? Recreational thing. It's not. Some of you might think, oh, that's kind of a recreational thing. But I'm not trying to looking like that way. I'm trying to say it's not only a recreational thing, which is nothing wrong about recreational thing. Also, just go have fun. Rather than sitting inside and thinking about your problems, go out in the nature, that will be good. But I'm saying it's more than that. It's for the purpose of healing of your soul, for the purpose of enhancing your spiritual practicing and personal development, go and connect with the nature. That's what I'm saying. So that will be primary focus here. So water, second, the water element. The basic quality will be comfort, fluidity, and wisdom, a mirror-like wisdom. Color, blue, and then the fire, basic quality, joy, inspiration. And these are, as I said, it's a basic quality. There are many, many things, as I said earlier, like a humor, or like a laughter, inspiration, like feeling enthusiasm, for example. All these are also connected to the basic fire qualities. And then wisdom is the discriminating wisdom. Discriminating wisdom, basically understanding things in what they are, as they are, and not getting mixed up with one's own conflict, duality, pain. Color red, so air. Then the fourth one is air, the flexibility, movement. And the idea of flexibility is like a sense of not being stuck. Basically, whatever qualities are present in you and whatever quality needs to be manifest in particular given moment, it will able to manifest because of particular situation, because it's not stuck. Because many times you might see a lot of things there, how you say, possibility, opportunity, development, but you will not see them, catch them, work with them, grow through them, because you are stuck in certain situations. So there's no flexibility. If that is the truth, then the wisdom sense of all accomplishing wisdom means all accomplishing wisdom in order to accomplish a lot. It's basically able to act on whatever resources and circumstances any given moment there in full-blown way, because nothing is holding it back, because no conditions are attached to it. So there is a sense of all accomplishing wisdoms there. Then of course the air, the light, it's a green, color is green, the light is green. So, and the last one is a space element. So obviously a space element, we talking here all the time, openness, accommodating. So basically I think if you are open, you are able to accommodate every discomfort feeling that you have. It's lack of accommodating something. Lack of accommodating something has something to do with lack of openness. So when lack of openness has something to do with wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness. So wisdom of emptiness basically means it's open, and emptiness hosts everything. The openness hosts everything, and particularly open, when you are conscious of openness, then you are able to host anything and everything. And when that happens, then all the rest of the development happens. So that the quality of the how you say, the light, it's the white. So let's say a few words about this. Here we are referring as a pure light, and you can look as a color. So basically, each colors, they have their own qualities. Like if you don't have a spacious room, if you paint white, it looks more spacious because it has more open quality to it. So color in themselves probably having specific energy to effect. Maybe when you are looking at one color for a long time, that might have effect on your eye and your brain and your sense of emotions. Clearly, these colors will, when the colors are exposed from outside, I do believe that it changes your biological and psychological states. At the same time, but if somebody as a practitioner, they are able to change the internal state of mind, they begin to see color reflecting outside. So then when they talk about the dark retreat and the visions, seeing different things in the visions, and what they see, what they're seeing is a certain sign of realization of inner elemental qualities. Like for example, somebody, well anyway, I'll just say a few words, but this is not exactly a topic to talk this time. But let's say somebody internally feeling a lot of openness, then you just basically begin to see more space. Even you live in a small apartment, you feel like it's so big apartment. Even you look in a situation, is so much hectic situation, you still feel a lot of spaciousness or whatever. So whatever experience is internally happening, these sense of colors or emotions begin to reflect outside. So these are, as you can see in the chart. Now, each specific, going with the specific of each element, which is, I think briefly we talked about already, but let's go one again, space element. So the next, the chart will be the space. So that when the space element is balanced, so that means your inner space element, it's balanced in your body, in energy, physically or energetically, and most importantly, psychologically, in your consciousness sense. When the space element is balanced, what do you feel? You feel open, you feel accommodating, you feel spacious, expansive, vastness, pervasiveness, flexible, and joyful. And these qualities naturally there. So when these qualities are naturally there, or they naturally come to you, you experience these qualities more naturally, then for sure your soul is going to heal more. Just basically, if you're happy, your soul is going to be happy. If you're more open, you're able to process your situations and emotion better. You're going to be less damaged by the circumstances and the situations. So the chances of healing your soul, it's much better. So if your soul is good situation, these quality you see more present. If you see lack of these quality, or depends on how lack of this quality is, then you have to next month we are going to talk more on a personalized level. And this time we are going to talk a little bit more the characteristic of the 5 element, more in the nature in a general sense. But the next month we will talk more on a personal level, or more personalizing them. So then when you have too little of that, just think about opposite quality. When you have too much of them, then you can see feeling of lost, or feeling of not connected. So all the just basically, I don't have to repeat. You can see, look at the chart here, and so these are the space element. If you look at the air element, we mentioned already feeling flexible, free moving, a sense of healing, liveliness, feeling light, fresh, feeling a sense of more flow. That means like you are able to kind of move from one situation to another situation, and nothing is holding you back. In a sense, like a magical transformative qualities. So basically, yeah, you are able to change anything, but basically any situation work for you when you have a lot of flexible quality, or any situation can work against you when you have so little air. So basically you feel a lot of being stuck in there. So when you have too little, just imagine you feel too little of this quality. So I want all of you to look at these charts a little bit more carefully. And so basically, as I was speaking earlier, that if you reflect in your life how less connection you have to the nature elements, just think about if you have a more connection to the space, these quality of space will come back. If you have more connection to the earth, these quality in this chart will come back. So basically, just more relation to the earth, going out there, gardening, touching the soil, with vision, we're able to see the mountain, sitting in front of the mountain, connecting with the mountain. And so doing that will bring back this earth quality, exposure to being out in the fresh air, exposure to the wind, connecting to the wind, feeling the wind will bring your own quality of these winds back. So, and then with the sun and the fire, so being exposed to the fire and sun, these quality, as you see the chart in the fire, these quality will bring back. And same thing with the water. So if you look at the chart of the water, so feeling a sense of comfortable where you are. Many times people say that, you know, one of the discomfort is whenever you're feeling you're dislocated, you're feeling you're in the not right place, you're feeling you're not doing the right thing, you're feeling you're not being with the right person, you're always feeling in the wrong place. You are placed in the wrong place, situations. When somebody feels like that, it's a terrible experience in life in general. And particularly, these are, I think, some of the primary causes of losing these essential qualities of the element, because you're not able to charge yourself, but you are losing by searching. I always give this example, a sense of an iPhone, navigation system. So if you turn on the navigation system takes so much battery, drains the battery the most because in some way many people are in search mood. You're in a navigation system, you're search mode. Basically, you're not at location, you are looking for a location, you can never find it. You never find that place. So what energy that you're wasting by looking, not by being, is where you're losing all this essential quality. So I think one of these qualities, water is very much like that. When somebody has a lot of water, I mean, a good sense of balanced sense of water is comfortable. Where you are, you think this is the best place I can be this moment. What you're doing, you think this is the best thing I can be doing this moment in my life. Who you're with, you think this is the best person I can be in moment in my life. Whatever. So you are in right place. So if you look at these water quality, now again, I don't need to repeat everything here. You can look at these charts. Sense of earth. So maybe Polly, if you can kind of go through, show each chart a little bit, and so the bottom line, the conclusion here is, in order to heal your soul, in order to be a healthier, your relation to the outer element is very important. You're trying to reflect and recognize how little connection you have, particularly in those you live in big cities. You're trying to recognize how important it is to have those connections. At least trust me a little bit here, saying, oh, I need to pay a little bit attention there, and look at your resources, what possibilities that you have, nature around you. What is the closest nature around you? Maybe the park closest around you, maybe you have never been there. Trying to plan in your life by recognizing whatever specific element that you feel need to heal your soul, to enhance your spiritual practices, or whatever personal development you think is necessary in your life. Look at those elements, what is lacking, and find the solution to connect with that. That's the mainly primary, work that I want everybody to reflect. So I wanted to give a little homework here during this until to the next month. So this will be like as usual, I say formal and informal practices. So the formal, of course, this is what I'm saying out there. Those who feel like what I have to say, that you feel like you wanted to make some commitment here, you can do it. And those you feel like I don't understand very well, that's of course obviously that's not for you. And so those you do feel, okay, I wanted to make a little commitment for rest of the year, next 11, 12 months, that follow these things. There is a group support. There is you're close to your computer. You don't have to travel anywhere. You have access to these teachings. There's a lot of support is provided to you. And just think about, each person you can think about, we are all doing it just for you. One person, and think about it, and we're just doing for you. So from your side, you say, I can make some commitment also, what I can do. So later we're going to do the 5 element mantras. So I want everybody to recite 10,000 times this month until next webcast. 10,000 mantra of A, Yang, Ram, Mang, Kang, Dum, Du. Reciting that, you can sing that, you can recite slow, recite fast, recite when you are walking, you can even recite when you're driving. You can recite many situations in your life. So basically, the kind of commitment here is like a 10,000 mantras. You can use mala to count it. So that's one commitment. There's 2 commitment. And the other one is, and this commitment is not a very big commitment, especially those, if you think it's it's not a big. People do a lot more. Okay, so if you think it's big, then you can do less. Obviously, you can do less, and probably you will not do at all. That's a good chance. So, and the second thing is 10 hours of practice. So that I want you to count those 10 hours instead of, saying, oh, any hour. So think about commitment is 10 hours, and these 10 hours can be done, do it your own way. That means anywhere from shortest 15 minutes to longest 50 minutes. So think about these 5 numbers, 15 minutes to 50 minutes. So you can, like for example, tomorrow you can do a 15-minute practice, and next time you can do a 20-minute practice. You can just keep track of those minutes and up to 10 hours until next month. So at least in this 10 hours and 10,000, I'm sure you'll have some experiences in relation to these 5 elements, and particularly your connection to the outer natural element is much more stronger. And the one time a student of mine, during the retreat, he told me that he was having a lot of problem with his family, particularly his brother. So I just said, it was too complicated to talk too long. I said, okay, just what about you just sit quiet and connect with the nature out in the woods. So that's what he did for a couple of days. And when he came back, he said, I don't remember what was my problem. So that was a very good, things to hear for me, because when you sit and connect with the nature like that, you will forget your problems. So it's not only about you will forget about your problems, but you will enhance your qualities. Not only quality in sense of soul retrieval, but your spiritual practice. The reason why I'm saying the soul retrieval in your practice is, there might be some people who might think, oh, I don't understand the soul, but I'm a Dharma practitioner. If you are maybe Dharma practitioner, I wanted to practice my Dharma, what does that mean? That means your connection to the nature will help your Dharma practices. Why people went up in a desert area in the Rocky Mountains to do a sky practices, why people went in the woods to practice some tantric practices. There are people who go to different environment to practice different quality, different characteristic of practices. People do that because they know being in those places, they help you so much, otherwise you don't know how to get them. So that is, I think, very important. So these 2, reminding again, 10,000 mantras and 10 hours of practice, anywhere from 15 to 50-minute sessions. Formal practice. Now, informal practice will be to realize, so which I mentioned earlier, and I'm just kind of summarizing here, realize and locate your own like a recurring situations on the 5 element. For example, in your life, very often you feel very ungrounded. Okay, very ungrounded. When do you feel very ungrounded? Or when I go to my office, that's it. When I meet my famous person, that's it. When I face my fear, that's it. Either internally or with somebody triggers you or your work triggers it, whatever situation triggers that shows you a lack of grounding quality. Or even just a meditation, you know. You love to meditate. The moment you decided to sit for 15 minutes in empty space of mind, you become the most creative individual in the world. All the project manifest, all the how I can do detail manifest. Why? It's not a creativity, it's called obstacle. Because that is not the moment to be thinking. That is the moment to be resting your thoughts. It's obstacle. But when you have a piece of paper, a pen to write down your list of your creative things, you become meditator, great meditator of emptiness. Your head goes totally blank. Is that called meditation of emptiness? No, that's called obstacle of creativity. Because you're doing totally opposite things at opposite time. So these are experiences. So whatever experiences you're happening, you recognize that. You recognize your lack of earth in your life. So this is informal. So recognize where in your life, everyday life situation, you lack the earth. Just recognize. This is the topic that we're going to talk next time. At least you begin to reflect this month to recognizing it. Reflecting and recognizing where you lack discomfort. Right now, for example, if all of you are watching this webcast, how many of you are feeling this is the best place to be in this very moment? Or some of you might be feeling when this is going to end. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to the next place, do the same thing again, say when that is going to end. Because you are not settled. You lack that stability in you. It's not that you truly have to go somewhere, do something. It's just lack of that quality in you, which is very negatively affecting you in every level of your life. You're starting with your practice, your relationship, even you are able to finish a project. Stability is important. Able to stick with it's important. So recognize that. So recognize 5, recognize the earth, water, fire, air, space, looking at the chart. Where in your everyday life you miss that, where it's manifesting. Just you don't worry about doing so many things or practices right now. But this month I just want you to recognize. Just recognize. You will be surprised to see how much situation truly need to be changed, can be better. So that is one. Also, obviously, or as I usually say, these 3 places that we always talk about: work, relationship, and personal. So work, relationship, personal. So if that helps, this locating situation, you look at your work, if you have to do the work, if you personal relationship with people, and then when you're not working as a profession, when you are not relating with somebody, when you are sitting with yourself, how difficult you are for yourself, how nice you are for yourself, how much you support yourself, how much you disturb yourself, how problematic you are to yourself, or how incredible support you are to yourself. Look at that. You don't need another person. You can be good or bad enough for yourself. So reflect those things. So this is formal and informal homework.